welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is the first time you are joining me. Today I wanted to do a video that comes off the back of videos that I have been watching on Booktube. This is the kind of video that I think any tarot tuber can jump on and do, and I hope that some people will, but I don't have a hashtag for it because A, Booktube don't do hashtags, so there isn't like a similar one to steal, and B, I'm an older millennial who doesn't really understand how hashtags are supposed to work, and I just want to turn the whole sentence into a hashtag, which I know is not it. So if anybody wants to do a VR to this, and if anybody wants to suggest a hashtag, I'm totally up for that. Please let me know. And also, I think this should go without saying, but it's the internet, so I'm going to say it anyway. These are purely statements about things that I won't be doing on my channel. They are not statements about things that I think you should not be doing on your channel. I think that I honestly believe that should go without saying, but again, 'tis the internet. I don't care what you do on your channel. This is all about me. So with that said, I'm just going to jump right in before I waffle on anymore. The first thing that I won't be doing as a tarot tuber is posting walkthroughs and reviews of decks, or at least to any sense of regularity. I do not enjoy them. I don't enjoy making them. I have made walkthroughs before. The large majority of walkthroughs that I've made on my channel, I've either deleted or privated those videos because it's just not the stuff that I want on my channel. I don't really know what to say in a review. Like, I know how to review books, I know how to talk about books, both fiction and non-fiction, and I understand the kind of things that people are interested in and looking for in a book review. I'm not really sure what people are looking for in a deck review. I'm not really sure what I would be looking for in a deck review because I don't tend to watch reviews. I like hearing people talk about the decks that they've used and why they like them and those kind of things, but actual reviews that are adding value as a review, I don't tend to watch those types of videos, so I don't really know what that would involve. And so I'm probably never going to do them. I've done one and it was kind of okay. It was a deck that I really liked and I just wanted to talk about, and it was an easy way for me to talk about it. But I want to find other ways of talking about and discussing my decks and what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and walkthroughs I just don't enjoy. I find them boring to film, and so I just won't be doing them. The second thing that I won't be doing as a tarot tuber is getting sent decks for review. Because let's be frank, nobody's looking at my channel and thinking, her, she's the one, we need to send our decks to her, that's good marketing. Because I won't do a walkthrough or a review. See item 1. So you can safely assume that whenever you see a deck on my channel, any deck, it's either one that I've paid for with my own money, or it's one that's been given to me by a friend as a gift of some kind, whether it's a birthday or a Christmas or just somebody I like and I know who sent me a deck. And beyond that, the specifics, I think, as I'm not a reviewer and I'm not a marketer of decks in any way, frankly, none of your business. So I'm not going to spend too much time telling you where I got decks from, or how much they cost me, or who sent them to me, or any of that kind of stuff, because it's never going to be a publisher or an indie creator, ever. And if it ever is, I will tell you and we'll all die of shock. The third thing that I will never do as a tarot tuber is post content that I wouldn't also want to watch if it was posted on somebody else's channel. And I will never apologise for the kind of content I do or don't make. I have no interest in, again, I say this a lot, I have no interest, and honestly, it will kind of make sense as I finish this sentence, but my main interest in TarotTube, and the reason I'm here, is because I enjoy sharing this particular hobby with other people in this particular way, this particular YouTube video format. I've no interest in being a large channel, monetized channel, a channel that does a lot of promotion and PR and those kind of things. This is my hobby. Tarot is a hobby. It's also a spiritual tool. That's a whole other argument that we can have on another day. But tarot is my hobby, and part of my tarot hobby is my YouTube channel. And so I'm only ever going to make the kind of videos that interests me. And if it doesn't interest me, it's just not going to happen. In the same way that I'm only going to watch the tarot content that interests me, because I'm here as part of my hobby for enjoyment, and that is it. That is my bottom line. So the fourth thing that I will never do, you will never see me do as a TarotTuber, is openly criticize other TarotTubers for how they choose to run their channels. Now, I think we all need to be honest with ourselves and say that we quite often criticize other TarotTubers possibly in our heads, and maybe judge them a little bit for the videos that they're making, because that's part of how we figure out what we do and don't want to talk about on our own channels, right? We watch a video and we think, oh, I wouldn't have done it like that, or I wouldn't have said that, or I don't know if that's the kind of thing I would want to put out in public. But what I will never do is sit on camera and say those things out loud, publicly, about how another person chooses to run their channel. I'm entitled to have opinions about that. We all are. But nobody needs to hear my opinions. I don't need to be sharing them with the world. Nobody gives a fuck whether I like the way you run your channel or not. You do you. That is not to say that I won't make videos about other people's content when I disagree with them. People may make videos about things, and I may decide that I want to make a VR to that particular video because I don't agree with what they're saying, and I want to share my own opinion, my own perspective, my own point of view. And I think that's different, and that's valid, and that's part of having a conversation on what we're all here for, or at least what I'm here for. But I will never criticize somebody for the type of content that they choose to share. If you're putting out content that I don't want to watch, or I don't think is appropriate, or I don't like for whatever reason, I'm just going to move on with my life. I'm just not going to watch it. I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to carry on making the stuff that I want to make, and I'm going to let you carry on, like I have any control over it. But I'm just going to leave you to carry on making the content that you want to make, and we're all just going to go along about our days happy with no drama, because life's too short, right? The fifth thing that I will never do as a TarotTuber, or at least I probably will never do again as a TarotTuber, is post to any kind of regular schedule. I have tried that in the past. I've tried doing I'm going to post 2 days a week, and I've also tried that I'm going to post on a Wednesday and a Sunday, and I'm going to post at different times, specific set times, and I'm going to aim to do blah blah blah. And then I have absolutely no idea what I want to talk about. I have no topics in mind. I can't, suddenly I've gone from having all of this creativity about all the different things that I want to do to, oh my God, I can't even remember how to talk on camera. And it just doesn't, it just doesn't work for me. I love to be organised. I love goals. I love planners. I love planning my days and my weeks and my months and my time and blur and all of that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, trying to plan YouTube to any kind of regular schedule doesn't work for me. And I think partly the problem is because I'm led very much by what interests me. And if I plan today to talk about all these different things that interest me, I also have the kind of personality where there's nothing to say that the thing that I'm interested in right now is something I'm still going to be interested in 3, 4, 5 weeks time when I finally get around to being in a position to make that video. And so I'll have planned it and scheduled it and, had this regular 2 times a week or whatever. And then the content that I've planned out for the month, I won't want to do any of it. I'm more of this is an idea of a thing that I want to do. Sometimes I sit on it for a bit, percolate it, let it see how it rolls. and how I feel in a few weeks. This one, for example, I've been sitting with for quite a few weeks. I'm still quite fizzy about it, so I've sat down to do it. And sometimes I'm just like, there's this thing that I want to talk about. This is a kind of brief idea of what I want to say. I'm just going to turn on the camera and do it. And that's particularly what my random rambles are about a lot of the time, is just, this is a thing that is like I'm thinking about and I'm interested in right now, and I kind of want to talk to somebody about it, so I'm just going to make a video. So yeah. And off the back of that, the seventh thing that I won't be doing as a TarotTuber is be consistent in any kind of way that matters. Like when I post videos will change, as we've just said. The type of content that I'm focusing on in any given moment might change. The opinions that I share will definitely change, because I'm human and we change all the time. As I learn new things and I experience new things and I discover new things, I'm going to be changing my opinions on a lot of stuff. You'll probably hear me say in any video where I share decks at some point, oh, this is my favorite deck, or this is one of my favorite decks, and it'll be a completely different deck or a completely different set of decks to the favorite decks that I showed you 4 videos ago, because I'm like that. I go through stages with every song that you play that I enjoy. I'm like, it comes on the radio and I'm like, oh, this is my favorite song. I have like 100 favorite songs. I do the same with movies. Oh, this is one of my favorite movies. And I have probably like 100, 150, 200 movies that I refer to as my favorite movies. It's just, again, it's just my nature. It's how I am. I'm just going to be consistent in my inconsistency. So that is one thing I'll be consistent about. But mostly I'm not going to be consistent in any kind of useful way. The seventh thing that I will probably never do, or that I won't do as a TarotTuber, is not, I don't think this is very well worded, but grammatically, but go with it, is I will not share, no, yeah, wait, no. Okay, let me just rephrase it in a way that works for me. So I am going to show, if the situation arises and I have one, out of print decks or decks that are very hard to get hold of. I'm not going to apologise for that. I am not interested, again, interest, big thing for me. I'm not interested in trying to sell you anything. I'm not interested in providing some kind of marketing for the decks that I have. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm here for. And so I show you the decks that I like and that I want to talk about. If they're out of print, I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles. It happens to us all at some point. If they're hard to get hold of because they're only available in the UK and you live in Australia, I'm really sorry about that. Welcome to my world, because getting anything to the UK at this point is really freaking hard and very expensive, especially any non-mass market deck. It's very expensive. It's very difficult. But I'm going to talk about the decks that I like and I have and I want to share with you. And sometimes that means you're going to come across decks on my channel that you love the look of and can't have for whatever reason. And I'm sorry about that, but that is what it is. The eighth thing I won't do as a TarotTuber is stop making VRs. I love VRs. They are one of my favourite things to film, one of my favourite things to do content-wise. I think VRs are, for me, the foundation of what makes TarotTube a community. And I know there's a big, is it a community, isn't it a community, blah, 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 blah. I think it's a community. I understand that there are 100 different arguments happening about why it is or it isn't, and I get all of that, but I'm still going to refer to it as a community. I still think it is one. And I love VRs. I think that that's what brings us together and gives us a shared sense of community. I really enjoy doing them. And yes, Sometimes they're just a convenient excuse to show off the decks that we have that you've seen 100 flipping times before, but so what? So what? We're all here to talk about tarot. That's what we're all here for, ultimately. Regardless of how you do that and the type of content that you choose to make, we are all here because we're interested in tarot and we want to have some kind of conversation about it. And showing off decks, in the grand scheme of things, if that's the worst thing that somebody's doing, is really not that bad. It's really not that bad. So I'm going to keep doing VRs. I'm going to keep doing them. And I'm especially going to keep doing those like top 10 indie decks or top 10 mass market decks or top 10 animal decks or whatever they are. Oh, I'm very active today because I like them. They're easy to film. They're fun. I love seeing what other people are sharing and I want to be part of those conversations. So yeah. The 9th thing I won't do as a TarotTuber is edit my videos in any kind of meaningful or interesting way. I edit to the bare minimum. Like, I tidy my videos up. I edit out all my, not all of my ums and ahs, but I try not to keep too many ums and ahs in. I try not to keep too much of me spacing out and losing my train of thought and waffling on for a ridiculous amount of time about things that are completely off tangent of what I was trying to say. I try and keep my videos as tidy and concise and interesting for you guys as possible, or what I think you'll find interesting, because I respect your time and I don't want to waste it. And so yeah, I will, and also because I don't want to look like a twat on video because I've rambled on for 30 minutes about something that had absolutely nothing to do with the video and I've lost my train of thought and I've no idea what I'm talking about, which I do anyway, but and people are just sat there going, what is this? And so I do edit my videos. I watch my videos back after I film them. I do edit them to a degree and I tidy them up before I post them. But there's never going to be B-roll. There's never going to be interesting overlays and shots and fancy shit that people are doing on YouTube now. Like, it's not where it's at. I don't know how to do any of that. I don't know what I'm doing. I film on my iPhone. I do the bare minimum of editing on iMovie because it's free and it came with my phone. And then I post it. I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't know that I have the time, nor the interest, nor the inclination to learn. So what you get is what you get. But I will try and make it the least waffly and messy that I can for you. Okay, and the 10th thing that I won't do as a YouTuber, and this is one I definitely will never change my mind on, is allow my comment section to be a free-for-all where anything goes. If I'm not interested in what you're selling, in my comment section is getting gone. Is getting gone. I hear a lot of the time. I hear this, I want to allow people a chance to have a voice and I want to give people the chance to have that. I don't want to silence people and blah, blah, blah. You're not silencing anyone. If you cut comments off on your video or you delete comments from people on your video, there is nothing to stop that person from turning on a camera, making their own video in response to you and posting it on their own channel. You do not have the power to silence somebody just by deleting a comment on your channel. I very strongly believe, I'm going to try not to go into a rant, but I might because it's something I feel quite strongly about. I very strongly believe that whilst YouTube, it might be the neighborhood that we're all existing in, even bigger than that, YouTube, is like the globe, is the world that we all live in. TarotTube is our specific town or neighborhood that we live in within the global universe that is, not universe, but that is YouTube, whatever. Follow this if you can. Each channel is your house. This channel is my house in the neighborhood of TarotTube that exists within the world of YouTube. If you come in my house and you start talking shit in my house at me or at my other guests, I'm going to kick you out and I'm not going to let you back in, because that don't roll where I come from, I'm afraid. And I feel very strongly, and YouTube agrees with me. I have to say, YouTube agrees with me. You cannot stop people from having videos, making videos on YouTube. You can't. You have no control over who can and can't post on YouTube. You can report people if they're posting hateful or illegal content, but you have no control over what people can and can't post on YouTube on their own channels. But you have so many controls given to you by YouTube to manage and control what people can and can't do in your comment section, because this is your house. You don't owe people the right to say whatever they want in your space. If somebody posts something that you don't like, to be clear, personally, I am never going to delete a comment just because you disagree with something that I say. I don't mind being disagreed with. It's not something that I particularly have a problem with. If you disagree with me in a way that makes you a complete and utter asshole, I'm probably going to delete that because I'm not interested. If you're clearly just looking for a row, there's a strong chance I might delete that. If you're abusive to me or somebody else in my comment section, I'm definitely going to delete that, because you don't have the right to go around saying whatever you want to say, wherever you want to say it, whenever you want to say it. That's not how the world works. See, I'm ranting. I've gone off on an entire rant about it, but it's one of those things I feel quite strongly about. I think that YouTube, your channel is your house, and you can have as much or as little say over what appears in your comments as you want. It's not a question of silencing people or not. My comments are never going to be a free-for-all. If you come into my comments and you behave like a dick, I'm just going to delete them. I'm not going to engage with you. I'm not going to get into a row with you. I'm just going to delete them because I don't care. So yeah. So there we go. So this is my 10 things I won't do as a YouTuber. They could change. I mean, some of them might change. We've established I'm not very consistent. But as of right now, these are the things that, the 10 things that I have no intention of doing as a TarotTuber. I am really, really keen to hear other people's, so I would love it if you do a VR. I'm very bad at remembering to look for them though, so if you do a VR, do come and tell me in my comments so that I can go to your channel and watch it. It'll probably come up in my subs anyway, I'm sure, but just in case I miss it for whatever reason, let me know. I look forward to seeing you all soon for another one. Take care, everyone, and lots of love. Bye-bye.